Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition. It's been a disappointing week for crypto.
Mm.
Bitcoin's down about 10% since our last Friday afternoon Zoom. Ethereum about the same. Drop today, but pretty good recovery. So let's go to the chart, see if we can figure out some trades for this weekend. Okay, folks should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so as you can see, we're down like 7 days in a row. Red, 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 red. Yeah, we don't like that. So that's disappointing. There was some FUD earlier in the week about US government offloading its Bitcoin and liquidating it. I'm not sure if that was true or not. I've heard both sides of the story. And CPI data was pretty good earlier in the week. Didn't think that would hurt us, but maybe it did. So I can't confess to knowing exactly what pushed things down. Maybe we just hit that 30K resistance right about here.
Mm-hmm.
Got swatted down hard. Ethereum has the same problem around 2000, hits that, then gets swatted down. Now we're hovering around 1800. We were down in the 17s earlier today, but had some recovery. Looks like we might be positive for the day on Ethereum. And we're slightly negative on Bitcoin. So generally we have reduced volume over the weekend, but sometimes prices will increase in that time, but generally it's weekends are a bit down. I tend to do shorts on Fridays and see if they can resolve over the weekend. So any questions, comments, or wild speculations regarding the market overall before we look for some day trades? Okay, guys are pretty quiet, pretty chill
Well,
for
hey,
a
real
Friday.
quick. Hey, pretty real quick, CJ. It's been said that in chats along the way that with the halving, that it's right around the halving time, Bitcoin normally does go down, and during this time, and then it generally will not. Then it'll explode. So hopefully, this
So
is a good time if that's correct.
yeah, I've seen some posts here and there about the halving, but we're about a year away from that. So I didn't really pay much attention to it. It's coming up in April or May next year. And for those of you who don't know, the halving in Bitcoin is where the miners get reduced amounts, and that's there's less, generally speaking, there's less Bitcoin available, which is a bullish sign, and that tends to push the price up in the, around that time. So usually in anticipation of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have an exact date because it depends on how the blocks are formed and mining and things I don't really pay attention to know that much about. I'm a day trader. I look at charts. So, uh, what Frankie's talking about is a little more of a long-term approach,
Yep.
which is why I'm not explaining it very well. But anyway, if somebody else wants to step in and explain the halving, uh, have at it. Maybe not.
I was waiting
Okay.
for the symbol.
What's that, Frankie?
I was waiting for the symbol because you said have at it. Like you said, anyone want to explain the halving? Never mind. It was
Okay.
joke too late now.
Oh, have at it. Okay, I got
Right.
you.
Hey CJ, what do you think about the bottom right now? Where do you think the bottom might be for maybe this weekend?
Yeah, the CryptNation guys were talking yesterday around, they were saying around 25.5. Wouldn't surprise if we had a dip down there. Should be this vicinity here. That's possible. We've held 20K a couple times
Mm-hmm.
since the beginning of the year. So seems to be a lot of volume in this 25 area. People see that's held a couple times, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Altcoin Alert. Got the altcoin radar up, and I'm gonna see if I can find some day trades for the weekend. I'm gonna reload to update it. I do different sorts with this database. I start with my AA score. I'm going to click on that and sort it by the highest score to the lowest. And Centivate, I don't trade, and that's a really cheap coin. I do like the graph. I have been known to trade GRT, and I believe that was one I was following today. I prefer scores 80 or above, but 79.1 is pretty close. What Altcoin Alert is telling us, there's a 79.1% chance that the graph will go up 3% or more the next 48 to 72 hours, probably closer to 72 due to the weekend. Let's go to the chart and see if we can scope out a trade. We've had a nice pump this afternoon on the 5-minute chart. So we're a little bit late for getting in on this one. This sort of looks like a dip sequence. We had a little squeeze and then a little bit of a bubble. 1, 2, 3. Actually, there was 4 dips before it went up. I don't know. This is not a very good example. It hit the SMA line twice, which usually negates the dip sequence. So let's ignore that for now. I think if you want to put a price alert for a retrace, I like this area just above 11 cents. And I'll show you this with a line. Yeah, see there are multiple touches in this area. So that would be a good place to put an alert. Right click here, away from the indicators, add alert. Probably just even it out. And this was an AA score. So that's how I would do that, AA score purchase. And when it drops to that area, reevaluate. I haven't talked about this indicator. This is support and resistance with breaks from Lux Algo. And it will automatically put in those support and resistance. I can see them on the chart pretty easily, but if you're new or if you can't quite see them, you're still struggling with that. There are multiple support and resistance indicators on TradingView. And this is the one I use. I tend to use it more on longer time frames, but if you want to grab that one, that'll show you where the support and resistance is. Okay, but I prefer to put alerts on 15-minute charts on indicators. So we're going to hop over to the 15-minute chart. And first thing we're going to look at is divergence. Divergence is a disagreement between price action and the indicators, and it does have some predictive value, which is why I like it. It's contrarian trading. We're trying to catch dips and pumps that are set to retrace. And then I also like the super trend. I'll talk about that in a minute. That's more trading with the trend, just like it sounds. Now, what I see here on divergence is that in the recent past, say the last couple days, bearish divergence has done pretty well. So you got this one triggered here, and then it went down, 5%. This one, probably 2 or 3%. You can see there's nice moves down each time this triggers. This is a little misleading because this particular indicator repaints, which means it'll move. Like maybe it goes off here, and then goes off here, and then goes off here. But I think it's still useful, and it's alert friendly. That's why I have this non-repaint one as well, so I match them up. But this one is not alert friendly, so anyway. But as you can see, the bearish ones are doing pretty well. But if you're trading on spot, if you're fairly new to trading and you're not using leverage yet, you're just going to be looking for long positions. And you can see these bullish divergences haven't done well in the last couple of days. This one went up 0.79. You're probably not going to get out, so it's going to keep dropping. So that's not that good. So what I've done the last couple of days is a little new. I would set an alert on the divergence that looked good, that consistently I got in this trade too. Not financial advice, but this this went off just before the Zoom started. So I'm in a short on GRT at the moment. It's gone against me a little bit, but so anyway, on this one, if I want to trade both directions, I'm going to put an alert on divergence, negative divergence detected. You can choose positive if you want, but negative is the one I'm using. Once per bar close, then I put AA score for my alert name. And then I turn these off and I go over to SuperTrend. If you look at the recent past on SuperTrend, the bullish ones have done really well. You know, this one here from Wednesday early morning, you know, almost 3%. And this one from Thursday night dipped first and went up here to a little over 1%. Not bad. And then this one is still going up over 3%. So on the short side, I've got a divergence, and on the long side, I've got the super trend. And again, I like these alerts because you can do the direction change, which I frequently do, the sell or the buy. The sell would be short, buy would be long. So this would be a buy in this scenario, once per bar close. And again, it's my AA score purchase. After you put an alert name 3 or 4 times in here, TradingView will remember it, which is nice. So I've got divergence on the short side and super trend on the long side. I've had some success with this the last couple days. I mean, not enough to really, you know, teach it as the way to go, but I just thought I'd make that available to you guys. You can switch it around depending on what the indicators show you from the recent past. Okay. So that's divergence and super trend. The other option is the RSI. And what I like to do is catch longs that drop below the 30 value on the RSI, then those tend to go back up. And then when they go, which is the oversold area, and then on the top here, the overbought area, once it punches up and then goes back down, crosses back down the 70 value, those tend to keep going and can be profitable trades. So on this drop here on Tuesday morning, it went below the 30 value and came back up. It did bounce around a little bit here. So we probably would have gotten in about here and eventually, you know, 5% move. So that's really a really good day trade. And then it shoots up and then drops. Probably get in right about here. It moves over 1%, so maybe you get out there. If you keep staying in, you get that ride up and then it drops like a rock, almost, you know, 6.5%, 7% here. So that's a really good trade. Actually, I should use my horizontal or vertical line to show you where these entries are. So this is the one I just talked about. Would have gotten in here. And this one drops, crosses up, again, a little too soon. So there's eventually this goes up to about 3%. So pretty good. And I'm gonna do something here. Looks like Carbon does have a webinar coming up. And I forgot to pause my notifications. Mute for 1 hour. And mute for 1 hour. Sorry about this, guys. Should be a little more together. Okay, where was I? Okay, so those are the 3 RSI triggers, and all of them were profitable at some point. So How you do an alert on that. I've got mine set up already, but I'll go ahead and show you how I got there. Add alert on RSI. If you want to go both directions, you can enter a channel, 70 on the high point and 30 on the bottom, once per bar close, and that'd be my AA score purchase. Now I've already got this set up, so I'm not going to do it again. But you can see it forms this like kind of rectangle here. And then whenever it punches above and then drops again, that's where the alert goes off. Okay, any questions on GRT? Okay, let's look at another one. So that was the AA score. We can sort by 1 hour projected range. Reload real quick. This is really more for scalping. If I see something, usually about 3% or above here in the middle, I'll look at that. I haven't seen many of those this week. I don't see any now. Social activity, I like to match that up with trading activity. So if I get fire or a thumbs up on both, then that's something I want to look at. And I had this earlier. See, it's still there. Here we go, SXP, thumbs up on both. So I was trading this today. Got that chart open. Let's check it out. Okay, on the 5-minute, above the SMA line, a couple of big spikes, big pump here early this morning. This one's been really volatile. We like that. And I don't really see a good entry at the moment. Do see some short-term support here, about 42, 43 cents-ish. So that could be a good entry. Short-term support here, 43.4. We're pretty close to that now. So that would be a good place for a price alert down here around 42.5. On the 15-minute, on our divergence indicator, the bullish ones eventually did well, as did the bearish. So I was, on this one, I set up, you have to do separate alerts on divergence. So the negative, once per bar close, and this is a social activity sort. Or actually you add that one and then you do one for the positive as well. And if you're trading spot, you would just do the positive. Once per bar close and you're good to go. But I already got those set up, so I'm not going to duplicate them. And usually in that situation, since divergence tends to trigger more than the super trend, I don't usually look at the super trend. So, but it did okay as well. And it's a little easier to conceptualize than divergence. Plus, you may just be a trend trader. You want to trade with a trend. Nothing wrong with that. So if you're on spot, you'll just go with the super trend buy once per bar close, and there you go. And as you can see, you know, the buy alerts did really well. This one remains to be seen. But, you know, this one triggered ahead of this move, 10%. This one was a little late, drops 4%, but eventually catches that move. So this one did not do well at all, but you would have been out eventually from this pump. Might have been in it for a day or so. Yeah, so, you know, 5% move, but it takes a day and a half. So that's the super trend. I like divergence better in this scenario. And then on our RSI, we have the cross here and then a drop. So that was a good trade eventually, a good short. This one here putzes around the 30 value of the oversold area, probably goes off here. So you get in a little too early, but eventually you catch this pump here. So that works out. And there would have been a few different alerts going off. And then this one would have gone off as well. Obviously, that's the better entry. And then this one crosses or just touches and then drops. Don't know if this one would have gone off or not. This one definitely would have over here. So that obviously is a better entry. And then this third one's even the better entry out of those. But eventually there's a big drop. And so that's a really good short. So even if you got in too soon, with a little money management, you know, say you got in here. You know, maybe you get stopped out here, maybe you take a couple additional purchases and then you get out. You get out here at the bottom, your first position makes, you know, breaks even or makes 1 or 0.5%, and your second and third positions do really well. And that's ladder buying. I've done videos on it before, but it can be risky. So some people just prefer to use a stop loss and they take the loss on that first one. Eventually on the third position, you know, they'd be profitable. Okay, so that's the RSI approach on SXP. Could be a good short over the weekend. Any questions on this one? Okay, we'll do one more sort and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so that was social activity.
I have a question about a altcoin when you're done.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that after I'll do one more sort. Another one I like is the long-term sentiment score. I like to match that up with Elder Impulse. It's similar to social and trading activity, but a little more detailed. So I want to see very bullish or bullish and match that up with bullish on the Elder Impulse. Since I've got 47 bullish and 8, actually, you know what, we need to look for a specific short. So we're going to sort this the opposite. Yeah, we're going to look for something we can short because it's the weekend. Alpha, Elrond, I think CFX is, I'm not sure if that's BitGet, which is what I'm trading on currently. But I know Alpha and Elrond are. So let's look at Alpha. Actually, I'm in that trade now, so I'll leave the other one open. Yeah, there we go. 5 minutes. All right, so instead of a 1, 2, 3 dip, we're looking for a 1, 2, 3 pump, and we've got that right now. So it's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually 5 pumps. So this one's moving. So that means it's due to come down. You can see on the RSI, it's well over 70 value, the overbought area, but starting to dip down a little bit. Looks like we're pretty close to a resistance level here at 10 cents, a little over 10 cents. That might be the place to put an alert, but we're pretty close to it now. And here's some resistance over here on the 10-cent level. So that might be a place for your alert around 10.3 cents. Or you just kind of get in the mood to short it now. So take a quick look, see if it's in my, it's not in the alert or the system I'm trading right now, but you can still trade it manually if you want on some other exchanges. Okay, on the 15-minute, let's go to the alerts, divergence, bearish divergence. All these have done well. Yeah, the past. We'll combine these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 divergence alerts have all been profitable. So I like that approach. For a short, let's look at the super trend, see if the sell alerts are good. This one did really well. This one eventually. This one not good. So I like divergence better than super trend for a short on this one. On our RSI approach, that was a really good trade there on the short side. This one didn't quite make it, but you can set your alert instead of 70 to go off at, say, 67, 68. It's a little more risky, but if you did that, you would have caught this one and caught that ride down. And then this one remains to be seen. It has crossed the 70, but has not come back yet. So if you just want to trade the short side on RSI alert, right click here. We're gonna go crossing down. Say 70, but we had that one at 68. So maybe we'll use that one, 68. Once per bar close and long-term sentiment. That's the first one listed. That's the one I use the most. So that's how you do that.
Kelly girl.
Okay. Well, that's about all I have. Brett wanted to look at a particular coin. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, I have an ADA that's stuck from long ago, but I have it just up in my trading view, and I just happened to click on it, and it looks pretty interesting as far as going up and down and having some good patterns.
Well, yeah, I'm in an ADA trade too from several months ago, so I'm looking for. I think I need to get to 50 or 49 or something like that.
Right.
Now, obviously, what I do on these trading Zoom calls is more along the lines of day trading, where you're talking about more of a long-term trade or a swing trade. But I can say that on the trade I have, anyway, I bought another position, tried to drop my entry price into the 40s. So
Get you some food? Does she have any food or not?
shoot, hang on a sec.
You gonna eat this or no? No, you're not interested.
Got to mute some people. Okay, muted. Where was I?
You bought into a position just now to drop your entry.
Yeah, on ADA. And
So-
my reasoning was it had been in the 40s as recently as late April. So at least that's what I did on my trade. How can I help you on yours?
Oh, no, I'm not worried about the old trade. I was looking at it from the aspect of a day trade on
okay.
the 15-minute chart.
I was presumptuous. That's my fault. Let's
That's
see.
okay.
Let's do the usual thing then. Look at divergence.
I mean, this has the same chart basically as your last coin, which also is similar to what Bitcoin is doing.
Yeah, and that's normal. If I look at
Which,
if I look at 3 or 4 charts, probably most of them will be similar. Most of them tend to follow Bitcoin. There are usually a few
Yeah.
outliers. And I try to put alerts on those too. But at the moment, this bullish divergence did really well from right around noon my time. And then the bearish ones have been good, going all the way back to Wednesday and Tuesday night. So
So you're saying that going into a weekend, you're typically looking for shorts.
usually,
Does this look as though it's setting up for a short, especially with the RSI being where it is?
well, obviously it can pump. If I wanted to short this, I put a right click on divergence negative, once per bar close. and call it whatever you want. So and that would let you know when divergence happened on the short side, on bearish divergence. If you're not really comfortable with that, or you want a backup plan, go with your super trend. This, the super trend's done okay. This one did really well. This one not as much. You probably would have had to buy another position on this one. Yeah, maybe not. Might still be in it, but yeah, I like divergence better than the super trend on this one, but it's up to you. And then on the RSI, on the short side, we had this cross that did well. That's pretty much the same move. This one's kind of sort of close. This one about 67. If your alert was at 67, you would have caught that one. That went down here. And maybe this one too. Probably not. And then we don't know yet on this one. This one's punched above the 70, but hasn't returned yet. So if you wanted to short this one, you could just right click here, add an alert, crossing down on the 70 value. And once per bar close, and you're good. So I got you covered, Brett?
Yeah, thanks.
Cool, cool, cool. Anything else on Altcoin Alert or day trading? If not, I think we'll wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, thanks for doing that. Hopefully we'll see you live next time on Monday or Friday. Check out the opportunities listed in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. If you're in Carbon, I think we have a Zoom coming up, but I'll stick around for a little mini Zoom before that one. So talk to you soon. Bye.